Welcome to the 2021 Dine In Cinema Summit. Of course, we would love to be with you right now, but we are just on your computer screen. I would like to thank every single one of our sponsors who made this event possible for us to do. Most importantly, Philo Productions. We have Matt, Chris, and John. And then we have John with our staff and another John, and then Matt and myself. So thank you. We appreciate you. We appreciate your support. And we mostly appreciate you giving us the confidence to trudge through and make this happen. Thank you.
You're gonna leave now?
Oh yeah, I'm leaving.
Yeah. Awkwardly.
Awkward
right.
moment. Yeah.
Well, welcome everybody.
Yeah. Good morning. Morning to most of you. We have a lot of people registered from international locations, and so I'm sure some of you it's late at night or middle of the afternoon. Who knows? Welcome to the third annual Dine In Cinema Summit. Thanks for taking a lot of time out of your day today to be part of supporting the luxury dine-in cinema industry and attending as a cinema rep, panelist, content contributor, vendor, or as a sponsoring vendor. All of you are required to be here today to help make this day a success. I hope you enjoyed our intro video, and we hope it didn't make you shake your head too many times or have too many disturbing thoughts. The intent was to get us started down what you'll see is a recurring theme for this year's summit, and that is, how do we get the dine-in cinema industry back on its feet? We hope you find the content of this year's summit meaningful, helpful, and that you walk away as hopeful and motivated to be part of this industry that we all deeply care about, just like you did the last 2 years. I want to start by saying one of the first people dialed in today was a good friend of ours, Tom Harrison, and he said he was in his pajamas, which is not unlike Tom Harrison. Tom, thanks for being early today. You're always on time. And he is actually responsible for us for being into this industry.
Right.
He sucked us into the movie house and eatery project a long time ago when they first opened. So it's great to see you dialed in and being a part of this today, Tom. Thank you for coming in. So you guys show the next slide for me, please? Hopefully, there we go. We want to go through first and talk about our great sponsors and those people here that are attending. Spotlight Cinema Networks. This year, Amy called it the Pivot Master sponsorship, and Spotlight right away stepped up and jumped in, just like they did the last 2 years, and helped get our project here off to a great start financially. We really appreciate Spotlight and everything you've done for us. Go ahead and show the next slide, guys. So Amy's been sending out email blasts the last couple of weeks. We, just like last year, we partnered with Variety of Texas, a 501c3 charity that most of you that are part of the cinema industry know that there's a great relationship with Variety and the cinema industry. There's a link on our website, dineincinemasummit.com, that's been up for the last 10 days or so, and it'll remain up for the rest of the week. We are lucky enough to have enough sponsorship funds that have come in to where we are going to match at least $1,000, if not more than that, depending on how this whole thing shakes out in the end. Please, throughout the day, go to the website, donate what you can. We're very happy to say that 3 of our good friends from our Tuesday happy hour that have been with us all year since March when we started our Tuesday happy hours, which is based on the Dine In Cinema Summit. Russell Van Orsdol from Fridley, Craig Hall, affectionately known as Bama from Nexus Cinema Grill in Alabama, and Bobby Franklin were the first 3 people to donate when we put up the donate button, and they alone donated $550. And so obviously the more we donate, $10 at a time, $20 at a time, the faster we're going to get to our goal, or we'll double it. And hopefully we'll make an announcement later on our emails on how that turned out. But I know Variety greatly appreciates it.
Yeah, let's get those numbers up. Kind of like a Jerry Lewis telethon, right?
Oh yeah. Okay, good. All right, next slide, guys. We're going to talk about who's here. We do this every year at our summit. It's kind of fun to show a fancy set of slides that has all the nice logos. We always do this. We always do it in a certain order. So these are the exhibitors that are here, the theaters around the country. And we've had a lot join in the last 2 weeks that are international. So I'll leave this up for just a second more. I'm sure you recognize some of them on there. Go ahead to the next slide. Here's another set of still on theaters. And you can see I put at the top up there, it says 18 new. That is completely out of date because I added like 10 more yesterday. So compared to our last 2 years, we've had at least 20, 25 theaters on our list as registrants that didn't make it to our summit the last 2 years. Go ahead, next slide. So same thing with our vendors. We have a great list of vendors that shows up every year, some as sponsors, some as just representing their part of the industry. Next slide. More vendors. And next slide. Always have a lot of vendors.
Oh, yeah. Without the vendors, this would not be possible. So
That's right. Thanks for coming. And next slide. Man, I had 4 slides of vendors. All right, go ahead for the next one because this is going to dive into our sponsors. We're just like the last 2 years. We depend heavily on sponsors. That's how we're able to let people come and join this party. Usually a 3-day party for almost free if you're just a cinema or an exhibitor from around the country. We are our vendor sponsors enable us to pay for everything from buses, typically, to food and parties in the evenings that you've all enjoyed in the past. This year, we have to pay for this production, and we're doing other fun giveaways throughout the day. We greatly appreciate your sponsorship. Go ahead and show the next slide. It's more Navigator sponsors. And then here's Summit's friends and more of our Summit friends. And thank you to everybody that stepped up, starting with Spotlight Cinema Networks. All right, go ahead and show the next slide, guys. So there are those of you that are first timers to this event. We're sorry that you missed the past 2 years, which we hosted here in Austin. This year we were supposed to be in Houston, Texas, primarily hosted out of Star Cinema Grill, with a whole new slew of dine-in cinemas to visit and experience as part of our typical 3-day event. Our format is unique. We have no trade show. We have no hotel hosting site with big ballrooms, no studio presentations about upcoming content. We get together, mostly with all of us in one big cinema auditorium, and we discuss the hot topics that we believe are the keys to making the dine-in cinema industry thrive. Not much of our conversation or topics are scripted. We have healthy, open discussions, sometimes creating some uncomfortable situations, but all in the best interest of learning and inspiring everyone involved in the industry. This year will be a little challenging. To try to keep an open conversation and learning environment in place over Zoom is going to be tough. Very little of our day is pre-recorded, as you'll see. It's going to be mostly live, which has turned out to be a challenge in itself because for us, one of the more enjoyable parts of this day, believe it or not, is being in front of you, where we can all learn and have great conversation. From where we stand right now, we can't even see you. From that being said, we know that if we all put the same energy into this day as we did the past 2 years, we'll all find a way to walk away at the end of the day, just like we have in the past, tired, thirsty, but motivated and encouraged because of the content and the people that make this cinema yours, this Cinema Summit yours. The past 2 summits, we dedicated some session content to topics like next generation auditorium or diversification, family entertainment centers. But for one reason or another, there wasn't a lot of energy around these topics, even though several of the cinemas that attended and are attending again this year include other entertainment revenue generating sources outside of showing Hollywood films. My theory is that the lack of interest in these sorts of topics in the past 2 years was due to the fact that Hollywood was rolling out great content on a regular basis, and the dine-in cinema industry was thriving as more and more dine-in cinemas opened around the country, and people realized it was the best way to enjoy a movie. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. This year, it's not a surprise that most of the content you'll see on our agenda is focused on those topics that didn't have much interest the past 2 years, because this market is different now. We're not going to talk about how to clean your cinema or the long list of topics that have been worn out over Zoom conferences and webinars the past 10 months. But we are going to present some interesting ways to consider what's next for the luxury dine-in cinema industry and how everyone, cinemas and vendors, can be successful. So here are the housekeeping rules. We're not using 3 days. It's just one long, maybe 10-hour day. Get your coffee, grab some snacks, save the beer and booze for the last event of the day, our happy hour. We're going to try real hard to stay on schedule because we're pulling people in throughout the day to be part of our sessions, and some may not be able to be with us all day. But we ask that you be flexible, just like you did the last 2 years, because sometimes you find things that we need to discuss as the day moves along. The up-to-date agenda is on our website, which should be at the bottom of our screen. I got to point this way. Yeah, right down here. I should let you do this, Johnny.
Exactly.
Right there. It's up to date on our website. Click on the 2021 agenda link and follow along. It has all the panelists' names and their titles as well as they participate today. If anyone has questions or things they need to be covered during the day, use the Zoom Q&A feature and we will work hard to get it addressed. You can also email your questions to question@dineincinemasummit.com and we'll be monitoring that all day. Sorry, I got to flip to my next page. We also encourage you to use the Zoom chat feature throughout the day. Please be nice and mostly polite in the chat, as there are lots of people that are working hard to keep this train on the tracks. Also, the default chat view is all panelists, which means that you won't see all the activity that's in the chat. So make sure you change your default chat view so you can see all panelists and attendees. If you're going to be part of a panel discussion, thank you for volunteering for that. And remember that when we use Zoom webinar, you need to accept our invitation as we invite you throughout the day to join in the event as a panelist, as well as share your video feed. Lastly, we're recording this. Not sure what we're going to do with that recording, but we are recording. All right, showtime, Johnny, here we go. So we're going to launch a poll to start.
Already launched
So
it.
you launched the poll,
Yep.
fantastic. You're going to see a couple of those throughout the day. Please answer to the best of your ability. Some of them are targeted at very certain individuals or job. Some of them are just for exhibitors to order. So if you're a vendor, don't answer an exhibitor question just to skew our results. As our day moves along, you're going to see some great video tours of some of the best dine-in cinemas from around the country. And then you're going to see also some messages from our sponsors. We're going to start things off with a great video tour of the theater that was going to host us this year in Houston, Texas. It's the Richmond location of Star Cinema Grill. This is where, like I said, this is where we should be today in person, all having a fun time in the theater. That is going to be followed by a sponsorship message from Positive Cinema. Thank you for being a sponsor, Positive. We greatly appreciate it. And when those two videos are done, they're going to play back to back. When those two videos are done, we're going to be diving into our first session, which is titled New Uses to Deliver New Revenue, which is sponsored by Fresh Strategies, TK Architects, and Telescopic Seating. Guys, go ahead and throw the tour of Richmond. Enjoy the tour. We'll see you when the tour and the message from our sponsor is over.